Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to solve equations using the quadratic formula. Now, the quadratic formula is used to solve quadratic equations, such as x squared plus 5x plus minus 6 equals 0, or y equals that. Now, to solve this equation, if you're used to doing quadratics, you would know that the answer is 5 minus 6 and plus 6 and x minus 1 equals 0. So x is equal to negative 6 and 1. Now, this is quite easy, but let's say our equation was harder. So 2x squared plus x minus 3 equals 0. Now this equation would be harder to do, right? So how do we solve equations like these? We use something called the quadratic formula. And here's what it is. Negative d plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. And that's what x equals. Right? Okay. Now, how does this work? Well, first, you have to know your equation. Now, the basic form for your equation would be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, can you see the similarity between this equation and this equation? Yeah. So in this case, a would be equal to 2, b would be equal to 1, and c would be equal to negative 3. Now, all we have to do is to solve and plug these three numbers into this equation. Okay, so let's do it. So negative 1 plus or minus square root 1 squared minus 4 times your a value, which is 2, times your c value, which is negative 3, all over your 2 times your a value, which is 2. Okay, so this is what x equals. Now let's continue to solve this. So negative 1 plus or minus square root 1 squared, which is equal to 1, minus, but here there's two negatives here, so it's double negative, which would be positive. So it will be plus 4 times 2 times 3, which is 6, all divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So x would equal negative 1 plus or minus square root 25 over 4. Now let's continue to go down. X is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 5 over 4. Since it's plus or minus, that means we will have two answers. So we will have an x1 and an x2. So x1 let's use plus first. So negative 1 plus 5 over 4. This is equal to, since 5 minus 1 is equal to 4, so it's 4 over 4, which is equal to 1. Your second x value would be equal to negative 1 minus 5 over 4, which is equal to negative 6 over 4, which is equal to negative 3 over 2. And so x for your the roots to your original equation would be the roots to your original equation would be 1 and negative 3 over 2. Okay, now let's test out our answers. Let's plug 1 and negative, this would be equal to negative 1.5. Now let's plug it in. So 2 times 1 squared plus 1 minus 3 should be equal to 0. So 1 squared equals to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 minus 3 is equal to 0. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0, and we know that is correct. Okay, now let's test negative 3 over 2. So 2 times negative 3 over 2 squared minus 3 over 2 minus 3 should be equal to 0. So 2 times 9 over 4 minus 3 over 2 minus 3 should equal 0. You can cross these two. So it will be 9 over 2 minus 3 over 2, which is equal to 6 over 2 minus 3, which is equal to 0. 6 over 2 is equal to 3, and 3 minus 3 does equal 0. So that is your two answers. And there you have it. That's how you use the quadratic formula.